So enter ecosystem whereby tool can help you run your dates a business owner. And our goal is to actually help small, medium, and enterprises to actually integrate technology into their day-to-day activities. This is to streamline your operations, give you insight into your business, and then events that happen during operation hours. Now, to add to our ecosystem, we are adding a Venta POS. That is a mobile version that you can run on Android and then iOS devices. So the ideal people who can use Venta POS on mobile are like small shops that actually need like instant transactions, recordings, and also people who normally maybe just need their catalog and business online, that they can have people visiting, making bookings, and then like delivering to them. I will take you through how the application works. When you open your Venta POS on your phone, you first of all are faced with a login screen where you have to provide your user code. This user code is a 4-digit code that is unique to everyone on Venta POS. Now what happens is our application syncs to a cloud for you. So we have Venta Hub, which is like the cloud base for like Venta POS. And why it is necessary is that we don't store your information locally on your device. We sync some data, but we keep most of your backup in a cloud whereby even if you switch a device or you lose a device, you don't lose access to your data, and you still have control on which data to store and then to wipe. So this is strictly linked to like our Venta cloud, where you will need like a tenancy in our ecosystem. A tenancy over here refers to like a business. So for instance, if you are a shop owner, your retail business, your retail chain is what we refer to as a tenancy. Now when you come on board, we will just create a free account for you on Venta Hub. And when we create, you will get access to create cashiers, supervisors, and even couriers that will be handling your deliveries. Now, all other users are easy to create and manage by you. But for couriers specifically, we take the responsibility of onboarding couriers and also like approving them and assigning them to a company. This is because delivery is important, okay, and then it's a key to this whole logistics chain. But we don't take responsibility of your deliveries. In as much as you are running your operations through our platform, we don't take responsibility of your deliveries. But at the point, we have to also make sure whoever uses our courier app actually has some compliance. That is why you can onboard your courier, but if you have a courier who does your deliveries, you can suggest them to us and then we'll onboard them. So when you open your application, first you need to enter your login code, which I will just enter 3095 for our test phase. Now when you enter this code and you click login, it will compare your code to like some details in the tenancy to confirm that you are a valid user. Let me just explain how this aspect works. Now on the login page, you can see there's a settings bar. When you click this, we have 5 keys that actually makes up your authentication. So in as much as this looks like complex, the deployment is so simple, and I'll explain to you. When we create an account for you in Venta Hub, you get an email containing a configuration file. Now that file, you just import it into your app and then it will do the settings for you. That aside, let me explain each configuration and how it stands. We have the endpoint URL to Venta Hub. That is required because this is the API that will be sharing your data between the app and then your cloud database. Without it, there can't be any communication. And then we have the subdomain. Now the subdomain over here is in our Venta Hub. Your business is treated as a tenancy, and we refer to tenancies as like subdomains. Now the main domain is the Venta Hub, but you have a subdomain for your company, which is a very unique domain name that represents your company. And then we have access token. The access token over here has to do with you, the user using this mobile phone. What is your API key? Because we developed the hub, the cloud in a sense that if you have also a team of programmers, you can consume our API for your custom application. So every user that is on Venta Hub has an API key. And if you understand how authentication and authorization works, if someone is building a third-party application to actually consume the data your company has from Venta Hub, the person needs an API key. That is why when we create an account for you, we also generate an API key for you. That is the only handshake you have from like a programming aspect. Now we also have like cloud token. Now in every tenancy, okay, we have locations. So I'm just explaining to you how businesses run. Now, if you take a tenancy like this business, Greenwich Cold Store, they have a user that is like me who has like an access token. Now, the location token here specifies which branch they are operating from. To really get insight into your data, what you need to understand is data needs to be broken down to like the minimum core. That is when the business owner gets much insights into it. So what we are doing is we are trying to tie every transaction to like the bare minimum so that we can break it down for you to actually see detailed insight as to this huge chunk of data, which is this specific subset. And in that subset, you can also break it to another subset till you get to like the list like trigger who triggered that transaction. So the location token over here specify which location they're operating from. So let's take this Greenwich Cold Store for instance. It has like, let's say 5 branches. So each branch in our tenancy will also have its access key. That is how it works. So if you have 10 branches in our tenancy, that is if you have your domain in Venta Hub, if you have a tenancy and then in this tenancy you have 5 branches, each branch will have an API key. And then now we get to the counter token. So the counter token is the device that is doing the transaction. So if you see this mobile phone that I am presenting from, it has a token. Okay. And then that is the counter token that is being entered over here. When you are having a transaction between this mobile and the Venta Hub API, all these tokens are considered. If one is wrong, if there's a mismatch in one, you wouldn't get access to make any transaction. So that is why it is important, and you don't have to type this, okay? And we will even get to a point whereby we won't be showing these settings. We'll just make it an upload and then like download thing. All right. So this is how it works. Now, when you have changes in any of this, you can just come to the settings and change it and save configuration. Then if everything is saved and proper, when you click on login, it will authenticate with the cloud and then give you access to the Venta app.